Hello mates, welcome to Full Stack Java Developer. I am Kiran Jadhav here. In this session, I will teach you here Spring Boot with JDBCTemplate CRUD application. Then see, we are using here plain JDBC queries like create database, create table, insert into, update, delete. And here we are going to follow the builder design patterns like complex object into simplest approach. Then first thing, we'll go ahead and create the Spring Boot application. We'll start with the practical approach here. Simply come up with the Spring initializer and the project as Maven, language as Java, the latest version we are using here. The base package I am giving com.fullstack. The application name I am giving here JDBCTemplate CRUD example. Refactor the base package, packaging as jar, Java version 17. Adding dependencies, DevTool for live load. Next Lombok for it will help us to reduce boilerplate code. Coming to next Spring Web itself inbuilt Tomcat server, and we are using here MySQL as a database. And next we are using here JDBC. This is Spring Data JDBC. Persist data in SQL, store with the plain JDBC using Spring Data. Now simply click on generate. See, within minute production ready application will be available there. We'll simply copy our application and paste into particular folder. Now simply right click there and go ahead with the extract. Once extraction is done, then we'll copy the path of our application and coming to IntelliJ IDEA. Import this application. Simply come with the file, new project from listing sources. Giving the path of our application here. Just go ahead to OK. This is Maven project. Create project trust point with this window. It will open in same window. Now we'll simply come up with the pom.xml file, and in pom.xml file we are just going to add Swagger UI dependency. Simply open the pom.xml file here. See, inside dependencies we are just going to add here dependency for Swagger UI org.spring.doc. See, here is the Swagger UI dependency we have added and the version is 2.8.5. Now simply come up with the SQL yoke. In your case, if you are using workbench, you can simply open the workbench. We are going to create the database. Then create database. Database name I am giving here HRM. Our database is created successfully. Next step, simply go ahead and use it. Next is we are going to create the table. The table name I am giving here employee. This will be EMP ID int, EMP name as varchar. Next we are adding EMP salary as double, and this will be, you can simply consider as a primary key as EMP ID. Now simply select it and go to the execution. Table also created successfully. Desk employee, you will be able to see the description about our employee table, like primary key is not null, yes, and time being I just added 3 fields, ID, name and salary. Now simply select star from employee. There is not available any single record, empty data sets available there, right? Then we are going to create the API like save, update, delete and read, like CRUD application we are going to perform here. For that perspective, simply come up with our IntelliJ. Coming with the src main, we have available here resources. Under resources properties file available. We'll simply copy the properties content from existing application. And the database name, we have available database name as HRM. Once it added here, simply go ahead with the build up our application. It will take some time. Then meanwhile, we'll come up with the com.fullstack. Right click on that, new package. The package name I'm giving here, this is model package. Next package we are creating new package name as DAO. Now come up with the next package name as service package. We'll come up with the controller package as well. And if you want to handle the custom exception, new package I am giving, this will be exception. Now come up with the model package. In that I am creating new Java class as employee. In exception we are creating new Java class as, this is record not found exception. Within DAO I am creating new Java class This will be employee Java IMPL. In your case, you can go ahead and create the interface and then create the implementation. Alright, if you want, I will follow here the similar approach. I employee DAO. Yes. Now come up with the service. First we'll create the new Java interface name as I employee service. Now come up with the service. Within service we are creating new implementation class, employee service IMPL. Now we'll come up with the controller, new Java class as employee controller. Then see, instead of like Hibernate and the JPA, today's session we are going to use here JDBC template, and our build also success. Once build success, simply reload the project. Now we'll start with the coding part here. Then first come up with the employee.java, annotate with @data coming from Lombok. It will help us to reduce boilerplate code, right? Itself available getter, setter and toString. Next we are calling here all our constructor. Next nor constructor, and we are implementing here which pattern? Build a design pattern. Now I am adding private. This will be integer emp have id. Private string emp have name. Next field we have available private. This will be, you can say, double emp have salary. 3 fields we are using as time being here. Now come up with the DAO. This is our interface. I am just going to create here abstract methods. Then first abstract method I am using public. By default interface each and every method available public, right? Instead of class you can simply make it interface, and here we are creating the abstract method. Then this will be white. You can simply say save. We are just trying to insert data into database, right, for our employee. Next you can simply say this will be optional we are using, and we are trying to find by ID. That's why I'm passing here employee. This will be find by ID. We are giving input as integer type of emp ID ending with semicolon. Next we are trying to fetch list of data. That's why I'm passing here list. It will be type of our employee. You can simply say find all. Now white, this will be update. We are passing here integer type of emp ID as the input, and corresponding employee we are passing here as a entity, you can simply say. Now the next is by delete by id. Simply passing here input as an integer, emp ID as input. Now come up with the implementation class, annotate with @component. I hope this is the first time we are using here component for DAO layer actually, right? It will help us to communicate with the database. DAO, it means database access object. Interface class implements, and the interface name itself we are calling employee DAO. Whatever abstract methods in that employee DAO, we must want to implement it to implementation class. All the methods implemented here, 5 methods. Perfect. Then here I am using @auto-white, and we are adding here private. This will be JDBC template. This is the one framework of our Spring itself. Actually we are just going to use like this is JDBC template here. Fine. Yeah. Then whatever SQL we are going to follow, those SQL I will add here. Then first SQL you can simply say string. This is we are going to follow for insert SQL. It means insert data into database. For that perspective we are just going to call insert into this will be employee, and we are just going to pass this is emp ID, comma separated emp name, comma separated emp salary, and the values we are expecting there will be 3 values, ID, name and salary. Next SQL, I will add some spaces there. String, this will be select SQL by ID equal to I am passing here select star from employee where emp ID equal to this question mark. Next string, this will be select all SQL. Here we are just going to use select star from employee. Next string, this will be update SQL. You can simply consider. For update perspective, I'm just going to pass here update our table name as employee, set emp name equal to this question mark, again emp salary equal to this question mark, and the condition is where emp ID equal to this question mark. Next delete SQL, then you can simply say delete SQL by ID. Then the SQL is delete from employee where EMP ID equal to this question mark, and if you want to delete all data you can simply go to the truncate as well. Then here like we are going to perform one more private method, and there we are going to implement the builder design pattern. For that perspective I am calling here private. This will be employee. This is, you can say, result set we are going to call here, coming from SQL package, and corresponding integer number we are going to pass here. Now simply to return, this will be employee builder dot build, ending with, you can simply pass the semicolon here. And this is like particular complex object, we are just going to get it in simple approach. For that perspective I am passing here, this will be EMP ID. It is coming from result set dot get int. This is the first column. Next EMP name, result set dot get string. This is the second column, and the last one is employee salary, result set dot get double. This is third number column. Now simply mouse over there and just declare the exception, like this is SQL exception. Like compile time we are going to handle here, right? Add exception to method signature, like through declaration. Perfect. Such a way, like we have created here, this is the private employee method, and accordingly we are getting data from database. Now we are trying to handle the functionality here for save data. Then here actual call goes for database. Simply use JDBCTemplate dot update. Normal SQL we are using JDBC execute update, but here we are calling execute. Here we are just using update itself, and this will be SQL like insert SQL, and the corresponding employee we are getting data, get ID comma separated get name. Next is get salary. Coming to next is we are trying to fetch here optional of our employee, right? Then first thing we'll do one thing here, like we are trying to fetch only one data, right? Then I am just using here, this is list. Otherwise we'll simply follow here JDBCTemplate dot query. Here we are not using execute query. Mostly in JDBC we are using execute query, but this is the framework, right? JDBCTemplate. We are just using we are just using here a query itself, right? And then say select SQL by ID, and the comma separated we are passing here. This is this employee, and the corresponding ID also we are going to pass here. And then we are just going to use dot get of index, you can simply say 0, ending with semicolon, right? But anyway we are going to handle here this optional perspective, right? Then you can simply try such a way. If it's not work, yeah, then here you can simply use wrap using this optional. Okay, optional of nullable we are just going to use, but I hope it will create the problem, but that time we'll resolve it if any problem creates here. Fine, I just handle here compilation issue. Okay, Control A Alt Control L, just format the code base. Now we'll come up with the next is we are just trying to like fetch all data. For that perspective I am calling here JDBCTemplate dot query again, and there we are going to pass here select all SQL, and then simply say this we have available employee. It will fetch all data here, right? Yes, ending with semicolon. Now come with the update. Simply call here like this is JDBCTemplate dot, we don't have execute update, we are just calling here update directly. Then you can simply pass here, this is which SQL, we have update SQL available, comma separated employee dot get name, and the corresponding we are getting the salary as well, and we are passing the ID as an input here. Coming to next is delete. For that we are calling JDBCTemplate dot update, because this is the manipulation. If DDL, then we are going to call query, execute query, right? For insert update delete we are just going to say this is manipulation, we are calling here update itself, and this is delete SQL by ID, and the corresponding ID also we are passing as an input parameter. Control A Alt Control L, it will format the code base. Now we'll come up with the next is we have available service, and you know service is intermediate between our DAO and controller. Then coming to service layer, annotate with that rate service interface class implements, right? Implements I employ service. Now simply mouse over there and implement method into our service implementation class, and here we are calling @auto void. This will be private I employee DAO. You can simply say employee DAO equal to, yeah, that will be fine. Now we are calling here, this is service layer, then getting data from controller pass to DAO. For saving data, it means insert data into database. Next we are just trying to get data from database and pass to controller. Then here you can simply say find by ID as an input parameter. Here we are trying to fetch all data, that's called find all. Next is, this is update, we are passing ID and the corresponding employee as entity input. And the last one is simply say delete by ID as an input. Such a way we handle the entire service layer as well. Now we'll come up with the next, and this is the last layer for API layer. Then simply come up with the employee controller, annotate with @REST controller at request mapping. And then here you can simply say this will be employees as base URI. @auto void, we are calling here, this will be private I employee service. Then API creation part we are going to start here. This is the post mapping, it means save fresh data. The API name itself save. And this will be public response entity. I am passing here string type as a return type. Then you can say this method as a save. And corresponding request payload we require here request body. And this will be, you can simply say for employee. See, here we are passing request body. The reason behind that, we are going to pass the request payload from Swagger UI. In upcoming session, this request payload coming from React screen form itself, like front end. Now simply do call here, this is employee service, right? We have employee service dot save, and then do return response entity dot OK. Simply say data saved successfully. Now come up with the next, this will be get mapping. We are saying this is find by ID. We are passing input as a EMP ID. Then simply come up with the public, this will be response entity. It will be type of our optional of, you can simply say employee. And this is find by ID. Path variable integer type of input we are passing here EMP ID. That's why we are using here path variable. Now simply do return, this will be response entity dot OK. Call employee service dot find by ID and ID as an input. Next get mapping. Here we are trying to fetch all data, that's called find all. This will be public response entity. It will be type of our list. It will be type of our employee. And simply say find all. Yeah. Now simply do return, this will be response entity dot OK, employee service dot find all, ending with semicolon. Next, this is put mapping, it means we are just trying to update the data on the basis of input as EMP ID. Yes, this will be public response entity. It will be type of string, and you can simply say this is for update. Now we are calling here, this is input as a path variable. We are giving integer type of EMP ID, and the corresponding we are passing the request payload as the request body for our this employee itself. Now we are calling here, this will be employee 1 equal to employee service dot, we have find by ID as a method, ID as input parameter, or else throw, this is the Java feature like lambda expression we are using, throw new record not found exception. But I hope we haven't created the record not found exception yet. Then we'll simply come up with our class here package, and there we are going to create the record not found exception, right? See, here is it, a record not found exception. Simply annotate with @response status, and this will be value as not found. It means 404. Extends which class? Extends runtime exception, and then use, this is public like parameterize constructor. You can simply say record not found exception. String type of message we are passing as input, then pass super message. This will be super message, you can simply say. Yeah. Oh, we need to correct it syntactically. Yeah. Then pass super message. Control A, Alt, Control L. This is the shortcut key to format the code base. Now we'll come up with the update here, and then simply say record not found exception. And here we are passing employee hash ID does not exist, ending with semicolon. Now simply do call here employee service dot, this will be like update, and we are calling this will be ID, and the corresponding employee we are going to pass there. Simply do return, this will be response entity dot OK, and we are going to pass a string type of message like data updated successfully. Now come up with the next, and this is the last API we are writing here. This is delete mapping. You can say this will be deleted by ID, EMP ID as a input parameter. This will be public response entity type of string we are giving here, and this will be delete by ID as a method name. We are passing input parameter, that's why I am passing here path variable. Integer type of ID we are passing as an input. Now simply call employee service dot delete by ID, and then do return. This will be response entity dot OK, data deleted successfully. In such a way we have done with the entire coding part. Now we are going to start our application, but before that I will just enable the dev tool here. For that purpose, to come up with the setting, just goes to compiler and just do build the process automatically, apply and OK. Now we'll come up with the main class main method. Our main class always naming with our project name ending with application. Simply right click and start the application here. What we are expecting application goes to start, and it start on which port number? 8080 port number. Then we have available Swagger. We are just going to test it by using Swagger UI itself. I am just going to hit the Swagger UI. Yeah, we are just waiting to see up and running application, right? Yeah. See, here is it. Application goes to start on which port number? Port number is 8080. Yeah, it started. Now we'll simply come back to here, refresh the URL. Yeah, Swagger is up and running. Then first we'll start with the save data, but it's showing fail to load remote configuration, right? Yeah, I am just trying to check here UI.html. Yeah, it's showing no operations specified. For that perspective, simply come back to here, check our controller layer. Here we are using REST controller, right? Request mapping and the corresponding all the API we have mentioned here, right? Yes. Then see, till it giving the issue, then we'll do one thing, just reload the application and start it again. Right? Then here we are checking our form.xml. We have added the 2.8.5 as a Swagger UI dependency, and this is correct dependency. We'll do one more time, build our application. Yeah. Perfect. We are just waiting to check build success message. Once build success message appear, we'll just reload our application one more time. See one screen. We are just waiting to check. See the build success message, right? Perfect. Our build is success. See one screen. Here is it. I just highlighted build success message. Once it's success, simply reload the project, and once it reloaded, then simply start the application. See one screen. We have just started our application again, and we'll simply come back to here. Yeah, we are expecting it will go to start. The port number is 8080. Now simply hit the API. Yeah, it's up and running, right? Yeah, it means build is mandatory, and just reload the project. Try it out. ID I am passing here 1. The name I am passing here Sora, and the corresponding salary I am passing here. This is like 97,000.99. Simply execute. Data inserted successfully, right? One more record I am just going to insert here. This will be 121. Name of record I'm just passing here, this will be Lakshmi, and the salary we are passing here 99,000.99. Execute. If you are checking with database /star from employee, there are two records available, see Swara and Lakshmi. Now we'll come back to here and we are just trying to find all. There will be available two records, see one screen. Now we'll just try with the find by ID. Then find by ID I'm just passing here, you can simply say 1. See, perfect. Yeah, it means it's fetching the data. Now we'll try to update the data for Swara. We'll simply come back to here and just trying to update the data for Swara. This is first ID we are passing, and ID you can remove from here. Now I want to make the salary as 2,50,000. Right, simply try to execute. Data update successfully. The salary also available. Now how much salary available there? 2,50,000 salary available there. But here I will try with the negative test case, like I am passing 1001. We are expecting 404 and ID does not exist. See, but it giving 500 java.lang index out of bounds exception, right? Then how to resolve this issue? I will show you here. Simply come back to here and in console log, it's showing at line number 42 employee.impl. We are getting index 0 out of bound for length. It means index out of bounds exception we are getting here, right? Yes. Then simply open the employee.impl line number 42. We'll simply come back to here and here. Like if ID is not exist, then definitely we are returning here. We are expecting null, but it giving their issue, right? For that perspective, we'll do some modifications in our code. Then you can simply use here list. It will be type of, you can simply say employee we are going to say, and then we are giving this will be employees. Okay, yeah. Otherwise we have like number of options available there, but I will follow the very edged approach here. Okay, yeah. Then simply say this will be employees, and then equal to we are calling here, this will be JDBCTemplate .query, and then we are passing here, this will be select SQL by ID for us, right? Yeah, the whatever we have available we are just going to pass here as it is. We are not passing the 0 as it is, we are just passing here this ID, and yeah, ending with you can simply give the semicolon. We are trying to fetch list of data here, right? Now here we'll modify this much code here. Now simply use return, and this will be, you can simply say employees dot it's empty. And then we are using here ternary operator. This will be, you can simply say optional class we are going to use, right? Optional dot empty. If it's empty, then definitely it will return null. And we have available, if data available there, then we are just going to call optional of. See here we have available optional of. Then you can simply say employees dot get of index 0. And if you want to convert with instead of creating such a list, you will be able to convert here also. But you know, like this entire like line, it will goes to very lengthy. That's why here we are fetching list of data, and from there we are just fetching the corresponding ID record. You can simply consider. Fine. Yeah. Like return here, it will be like employee dot is empty. This is just like condition. If it's empty, then definitely option of empty it will return null, and if available data, it will get the index of 0th level. Fine. Simply save it. Yeah. And if you want to do like some modifications, then I will upload this code on GitHub. You can simply try to do some modifications as well as per your business requirements. Now what we are expecting? We are expecting our dev tool goes to library load here. Okay, library load happens here, right? Yeah, we are expecting library load happens here. Yeah, now we are just going to test the same API. Then we are expecting here 404 not found, and employee like record not found exception, employee hash ID does not exist. See one screen. See here is it 404 not found, and record not found exception, employee hash ID does not exist. This is what we are expecting. And option also not goes to crash, it just gives us the custom exception like record not found exception and employee hash ID does not exist. Now come with the next, and this is the last API we are going to test it. Delete by ID, just try it out. I am passing here 121 record, data deleted successfully, right? Now there is only single record available for Sora. If you are passing 1 again, it will delete the data for Sora as well. Perfect. And find all, definitely there is no available data, right? See one screen, just empty array list. and in database also there is not available any single record. Perfect. Then such a way, like we done with the end-to-end hands-on for Spring Boot with JDBC template CRUD application, and we follow here build a design pattern. How we follow the build a design pattern? For that perspective, you can simply come up with the employee.java. Here at other constructor is mandatory for this session because we are using here this build a design pattern here, right? See, at other constructor it's mandatory. If you are not using, it will give us the compile time problem. Okay, then we are following build a design pattern, and corresponding in implementation class we just created here like the abstract, sorry, you can simply say private method, and we are just returning this simple object here from result set itself for corresponding data, right? Employee. In such a way we have implemented here build a design pattern. Like complex object, we are getting it very simple approach. Yeah. Then if you are facing any difficulties with JDBC template, then feel free to add your comment in comment box. In industry, somehow till they are using the JDBC template, like we have option available in persistence layer, Hibernate, then my bet is data JPA JDBC template, right? In industry, more popular way is data JPA because itself inbuilt methods available, and if its inbuilt method is not available there, you are able to create custom methods. Even we have option available JPA QL as well, like Java Persistence API query language, and data JPA internal they are using Hibernate is an ORM tool. And JDBC template here, like this is the one small framework you can simply consider, but like the SQL query we are going to create from our side here, right? Yeah, that's why as compared to JDBC template, in industry they prefer to use data JPA because itself available such a great and powerful features. Then thanks for watching this video. Please do like, share, subscribe the channel to get more updates, and see you in next video.